Hello, friends. How are you all? It's a pleasure to meet you all again via the channel Learn English and Be Motivated. I long for this time every day because I feel great joy when we all study and learn together to become a successful English learner, and one day an excellent public speaker, isn't it? And we are climbing up the steps every day. So, today we are going to study the fourth lesson. Act confident. Act confident. You heard it right. The most famous psychologist that America has produced, Professor William James, wrote as follows: action seems to follow feeling, but really, action and feeling go together, isn't it? And by regulating the action, which is under the more direct control of the will, we can indirectly regulate the feeling, which is not. Okay? Thus, the sovereign voluntary path to cheerfulness, if our spontaneous cheerfulness be lost, is to sit up cheerfully and to act and speak as if cheerfulness were already there. Okay? So always be cheerful. If such conduct, yes, if such conduct does not make you feel cheerful, nothing else on that occasion can. So, to feel brave, act as if we were brave. Always show that you are brave, okay? And use all of our will to that end. And a courage fit will very likely replace the fit of fear. Apply Professor James' advice to develop courage when you are facing an audience. Act as if you already had it. Of course, unless you are prepared, all the acting in the world will avail but little. But granted that you know what you are going to talk about, step out briskly and take a deep breath. In fact, breathe deeply for 30 seconds before you ever face your audience. The increased supply of oxygen will buoy you up and give you courage. The greater tenor Jean T. Reski used to say that when you had your breath so you could sit on it, nervousness vanished. Yes, it's also an exercise. Take a deep breathe, and also when you take in oxygen, yes, in the morning practice it, and also it makes the lungs strong. Draw up yourself to your full height and look your audience straight in the eyes. Note the point that look at your audience straight in their eyes and begin to talk as confidently as if every one of them owed you money. Imagine that they do. Imagine that they had assembled there to beg you for an extension of credit. The psychological effect on you will be beneficial. If you doubt that this psychology makes sense, you will also change your mind after a few minutes. Yes, conversation which almost any of the class members who have preceded you in following the ideas on which this book is based, since you can't talk to them, take the word of an American who will always be a symbol of courage. Once he was the most timorous of men. By practicing well, yes, and self assurance, note the point. By practicing well and self assurance, he became one of the boldest, and he was the president of United States. Theodore Roosevelt. Okay, so it was Theodore Roosevelt that the name is there. Yes, he was the trust busting, audience swaying, big stick wielding president of the United States. Yes, he was Theodore Roosevelt. Having been rather sickly and awkward boy, he confesses in his autobiography, I was, as a young man, at the first both nervous and distrustful of my powers. I had to train myself painfully and laboriously, not merely as regards my body, but as regards my soul and spirit. Fortunately, he has disclosed how he achieved the transformation. When a boy, he wrote, I read a passage in one of the Marryatt's book. Yes, he read in the Marryatt's book, which always impressed him. In this passage, the captain of some small British man of war is explaining to the hero how to acquire the quality of fearlessness. He says that at the outset, almost every every man is frightened when he goes into action, but that the course to follow is for the man to keep such a grip on himself that he can act just as if he were not frightened. And this is kept up long enough. It changes from pretense to reality, and man does in every fact. Yes, a man does in every fact become fearless by sheer dint of practicing fearlessness when he does not feel it. So, friends, the points that we noted down as we were in the fourth chapter, that is, act confidently. Yes, the important point was action seems to follow feelings. Yes, and then we saw always have cheerfulness. Next, we saw that be brave because that is required. Yes, and it will replace the fit of fear, isn't it? Then we learned that draw yourself up to your full height and look into your audience straight in the eyes and begin to talk as confidently as if every one of them owed you money. Then we saw that the important point is practice, 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 and self-assurance. Yes, friends, as we saw the example of the President of United States, yes, Theodore Roosevelt. And then we saw that you have to be as a hero and acquire the quality of fearlessness. Yes, practice fearlessness when one does not feel like it. Okay, friends, so we stop here today. It was great pleasure speaking and hearing and also being here in this class of our public speaking. God bless you. See you tomorrow, and be fit, be healthy and strong. Yes, remember, we are climbing the steps of success every day, and we are going to be an excellent public speaker one day. The day is not far. This is Dr. Mrs. Rathod, and I would like to say, yes, don't quit in any spheres of life. Be confident, and also there is victory. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.